Royal Rumble 2003 is a pay-per-view that I hold near and dear to my heart. Not only was this one of the only few pay-per-views I had on DVD as a kid, but it was one of my first introductions to professional wrestling. And looking back, this pay-per-view has aged like fine wine. It held up as a kid and still holds up watching it back as an adult. I kid you not, I've watched this pay-per-view at least 100 times, if not more. Given that it was one of the only few discs I had growing up, this shit used to stay on repeat on my PlayStation 2. And it's so ironic because I wasn't even alive when this event happened. I was born in 2005, but I was always watching the older shit as a 5-year-old in 2010 because it's all I had access to. I mean, I had cable sometimes and I'd catch Raw every now and then, but honestly, it was kind of rare. I lived with other family members growing up, so I wouldn't get to hog the TV at all. My ass would be stuck watching Rosa de Guadalupe, but this pay-per-view, it was always there for me. I knew, if anything, I could always go up to my room and fire this bad boy up, but I know you guys are sick of the rambling. Let's go ahead and dive into this pay-per-view. And if you're new to the channel and don't know how we do these reviews around here, pretty self-explanatory. We'll go through all these matches and segments and I'll rate the matches out of 5 stars. And by the end of the video, we'll have our final grade for this pay-per-view, with an F being the worst and an A being the best. Sound good? Well, let's finally hop into Royal Rumble 2003. This pay-per-view is brought to you from the Fleet Center in Boston, Mass, with a little over 15,000 people in attendance. And fun fact, this is actually the first Royal Rumble event under the WWE moniker. This pay-per-view did 585,000 buys, which sounds incredible, but it was actually a significant drop from Rumble 2002, which drew in 670, almost 100 grand difference. This is when the company started losing a bunch of hardcore Attitude Era fans, and although we look back at these times and how great they were, back in the day, you had a bunch of marks that would shit on the company and how corny it was becoming. And before we hop into the first match, I have to talk about the theme song for this event, which is Falling Apart by Trust Company, one of my favorite songs ever. For my viewers with elite music taste, you know exactly what I'm talking about. This song is slamming. Let's hop straight into this opener now, though. We've got a Royal Rumble qualifying match between Big Show and Brock Lesnar, and honestly, I can't think of a single bad match between these two. They always had amazing chemistry, and what made these matches so fun is that you'd see Brock Lesnar get tossed around like a cruiserweight, Big Show being the only believable guy on the roster to pull this off, really. And this match went exactly how you'd imagine it. Brock Lesnar hitting some impressive suplexes on the 500-pounder, Big Show tossing Lesnar around like a rag doll. Heyman starts to get involved, but when Lesnar gets his hands on him, he's met with a choke slam for a 2 count. Big Show then goes full Kurt Angle mode and lets the straps go. He goes for another choke slam, but Lesnar is able to counter into an F5 for the win, and he will be in the Royal Rumble match later on tonight. I give this match 2.5 stars out of 5. It's a very solid opener, and like I said, Big Show and Lesnar is always a fun match, and this one didn't run too long, maybe about 5 minutes, which is perfect for these two, and we're off to a good start here. We're then met with Chris Jericho backstage, and I'm sorry if some of these clips are low quality. I literally can't find a way to get into the network with a VPN, so bear with me. Dailymotion has got us covered for now, but he basically flexes how he beat Austin and Rock in the same night, which to be honest is pretty impressive. With that, Jericho says throwing out 29 other men will be no problem. Yeah, we'll see about that, buddy. Moving on now, we've got some tag team action. The Dudley Boys will be challenging Regal and Lance Storm for the tag team titles. Early on, Storm and Regal are dominating the match, beating the hell out of Devon and using some high IQ tag team moves. The USA chants start coming in, and this gives Devon magical powers to land the hot tag, and Bubba starts cleaning house. We get a big Bubba bomb to Lance Storm, but Regal is able to break the count. Devon secures a blind tag following an Irish whip to Bubba, and we get the classic headbutt to the dick and balls. And just as the Dudleys were about to hit a 3D on Storm, Chief of Staff Sean Morley, formerly known as Val Venus, comes out to distract the ref so Regal can use these brass knucks, but he gets hit with a 3D despite this. Devon then grabs the brass knuckles and decks Lance Storm with him for a 3 count, and we have new tag team champions. I give this match another 2.5 stars out of 5. You got 4 really good workers here, and they put on a decent tag match, and the finish just gives it bonus points. I really like that. We then transition transition to a vignette about the broken prison system, and no, we're not talking about Alabama. This is a Nathan Jones package. They call him the Colossus of Bago Road. Yeah, no wonder this shit didn't work out for him. He was in prison for an armed robbery and escaped, and now he's on the way to the WWE. Jeez, we can't wait. But before I hop into the next match, I want to remind you guys to subscribe to the channel and like the video. It really helps me out a lot. We just hit 100 subs and I'm trying to get 1,000. This is one of the only few non-monotone and robotic wrestling channels that feels like a computer is talking to you. Instead, you've got a broke Mexican from Alabama, but at least it's authentic. So please subscribe and let's hop into this next match, which is Dawn Marie versus Torrie Wilson. And this all began because Dawn Marie was banging the shit out of Al Wilson, Torrie's dad, and they'd be fucking so much, in fact, that eventually Al Wilson would pass away from having too much sex, and they'd have a funeral for this on SmackDown where Dawn Marie would infamously slap Torrie and break a lamp over her head. But unfortunately, the match was not as entertaining as the build-up. It was really sluggish, and half of it was just Dawn Marie talking trash. I'm not even gonna get into this match, honestly. It was pretty bad, but Torrie Wilson won. I give this match a half star out of 5. I hate to give it such a low rating, but there's been better matches than this that I've given a full star to, so I kind of have to. And to keep it real, the only reason I'd watched this segment as a kid was to see that freaky ass promo package with Dawn Marie and Al Wilson. Besides that, I remember this match always being a skip. Following that, we got our second vignette of the night. This time it's the Devil's Advocate Sean O'Haire, who has a sad story and never reached his full potential. I definitely want to make a video on him down the line. To summarize it all, he says if God is everywhere, why should we even go to church, and that the church is nothing but a farce, a way to judge you, and you must take control of your own life. So do something else valuable with your time, and if there is a God, he'll forgive you. Damn, what a controversial ass gimmick they were going for here. And Sean O'Haire fits the character perfectly. It's a great vignette. Not saying I agree with his views, but this character had a lot of potential. Good stuff here from Sean O'Haire. Up next, we have our first heavyweight title match of the night between the champion Triple H and the challenger Scott Steiner. The build up to this feud was pretty damn fun. These two guys would arm wrestle each other, have a pose down where Triple H hired some phony judges to jump Steiner, which was smart as hell, but he would just beat the shit out of them anyways. And on the Go Home Raw, Scott Steiner would literally beat Triple H into his underwear. Awesome build up, and I loved the promo package, which featured Falling Apart by Trust Company, the pay-per-view's theme song. And if you haven't seen it, check out this promo package. It's probably one of my top 5 favorites, up there with Rock and Austin, if not better in my opinion. Unfortunately though, the match did not live up to the build. It was very repetitive. We saw a bunch of the same moves from Steiner, including knife edge chops and suplexes, and it's all Scott Steiner early on that Ric Flair has to intervene. He helps Triple H gain the upper hand and starts choking Steiner every time the ref is distracted, but Steiner gets back in the game with more and more suplexes, but the crowd is starting to get fed up and start booing this match because it's a lot of the same shit over and over and over. Ric Flair helping Triple H, Scott Steiner coming back with suplexes, and at one point Triple H gets a nasty gash after getting hit with the world title, and he's a bloody mess. Triple H starts trying to leave through the crowd, which would have done us all a favor if we're being honest, but Steiner stops him and starts hitting push-ups. God, just shoot me already. Triple H then tries to get himself disqualified, but Earl is not going for it. More suplexes from Steiner before Triple H puts us all out of our misery and hits Steiner with a sledgehammer for the DQ. Thank God. I say thank God, but sadly it is not over. We then get a long ass beat down after the bell. Scott Steiner's wearing a thong. Bischoff comes out to put a stop to the assault, and this whole thing is just a mess the whole time the fans are booing, but they're just glad it's over at this point. I give this match 1 star out of 5. It was truly horrible, and this whole segment from start to finish was 30 goddamn minutes. That's way too long for Scott Steiner that has 5 moves and can barely walk at this stage of his career. This match was terrible. I have nothing good to say about it. Let's just move on from this, can we? We then hop straight into our next match for the WWE title. No vignettes, no segments, nothing. It is Kurt Angle defending against Chris Benoit, and I have so much to say about the match that I'm not even going to get into the build. All I will say is that Kurt Angle wrestled this match with a banged up knee. His recovery time was anywhere from 6 to 8 weeks, but he pushed it to 3 just to wrestle this match, and shit like this is what makes Kurt Angle my favorite wrestler of all time. This man pushes through anything. Kurt Angle is accompanied by Benjamin and Haire, Haas, who get ejected for shoving Chris Benoit. So we're getting a fair fight here. It starts with a feeling out process. They're being very cautious, watching each other's moves carefully, but Angle finally breaks the ice and drives Benoit shoulder first into the corner, and this is when all hell breaks loose. They trade big chops, and Benoit's are really goddamn loud. We get a stiff DDT on the apron from Benoit that warrants a pop. We get a flying headbutt attempt missed by Benoit. Kurt then goes for an ankle slam, but it's countered into a sharpshooter. There's some beautiful suplexes exchanged from both men, as well as some submission attempts. It's a very back and forth contest, but these guys knock each other out with a double clothesline, Rocky style, and when they both get up from the 10 count is when the fun really begins. These two guys start exchanging German suplexes like there's no tomorrow. You hear Taz on commentary saying German switch German over and over. Benoit goes to the top rope for a flying headbutt, but Kurt meets him up there for a big belly to belly off the top. Angle starts scouting Benoit for an angle slam, but it's countered into a crossface, to which Angle is able to find the bottom rope, but Benoit is not satisfied, so he drags Kurt Angle to the center of the ring for an ankle lock. Holy shit, the crowd is red hot by this point. Kurt Angle then grabs a hold of Benoit's foot and puts him in his own ankle lock, and I love whenever wrestlers know how to counter their own finisher. Benoit then counters the ankle lock by reeling in Kurt Angle with his legs into a crossface. What the actual fuck is going on? The crowd has completely lost its mind. I mean, just look at all those camera flashes. Angle is able to turn the crossface into a pin, which Benoit kicks out of. He then goes for a clothesline, but Benoit hooks the arm into a crossface, and I'm just getting overstimulated with good wrestling at this point. Angle gets out of the crossface position and hits Benoit with an angle slam for a very close 2 count. A frustrated Kurt lets the straps go, and he puts Benoit in an ankle lock, who manages to roll through and send him into the turnbuckle. We then get another beautiful sequence of these two exchanging suplexes and countering each other, which ultimately ends in a flying headbutt from Benoit, an entire 3/4 from the ring, but Kurt kicks out at 2. Angle then catches a second wind and hits a reverse powerbomb into the corner on Benoit. Very innovative move. He gets his own rebound and hits Benoit with an angle slam for another 2 count. Kurt's frustration really starts showing, and as he's picking up Benoit, his arm gets hooked into another crossface. He's in the hold for a little bit before he's able to roll into an ankle lock. Benoit is then desperately trying to roll through into a crossface and ankle lock something, but Angle reads it every time. He does manage to kick Kurt off the ankle for a split second, but Angle is right back on him. He tries to crawl, tries to kick, but Kurt has it locked in so good, and Chris Benoit was in the ankle lock for an entire 90 seconds before he finally taps out to Kurt. Holy fuck, what a beautiful match. Haas and Benjamin come out to celebrate with Angle, and Chris Benoit gets a loud standing ovation from the crowd, who were left mesmerized by this match. I give this match 5 stars out of 5. It is a technical masterpiece between two of the greatest wrestlers of all time. The action is non-stop from the bell, and there is not a dull moment in this match. It's so good to the point that it's too complicated for your casual viewer to understand. The only drama element in this match was the wrestling itself, with the constant counters, near falls, and finishers. It is definitely my favorite match of all time, and if you haven't seen it, it is a must watch. Hands down, one of the greatest wrestling matches that ever took place. Now we're backstage with Rob Van Dam, whose stretching session is interrupted by his tag team partner Kane, who reminds him not to stand in his way because he will eliminate him, no hesitation. RVD says, "Hey, that's cool, bro. Do what you need to do to get the victory, dude." Man, I hate how they made RVD sound retarded at times. He's not the strongest when it comes to promos, but he's better than this. Just watch some of his stuff from ECW. But ladies and gentlemen, it is finally time for the Royal Rumble match. And you know how the rules work, but here they are just in case. Our number 1 entrant is Shawn Michaels, and he'll be kicking things off with number 2, Chris Jericho. But wait a minute, that ain't Chris Jericho, that is Christian. Jericho is behind Michaels and hits him with a low blow and a chair shot straight to the dome. Michaels is leaking like crazy. Amidst that chaos, we get our 3rd entrant. It is the Harvard graduate Christopher Nowinski, who doesn't go into the ring, and later on he's gonna wish he never did. Y2J keeps laying in a bunch of closed fists to Shawn before he finally eliminates him. We count down to our 4th entrant. It is a swole ass Rey Mysterio. He comes in hot, hitting Jericho with a ton of moves. Christopher Nowinski finally gets in the ring, and we count down to number 5. It is Edge who delivers a spear to Jericho and Nowinski. Him and Rey then start fighting, and they have this cool spot where they both almost eliminate each other. Number 6 comes out, and it is Christian again. He immediately hugs his kayfabe brother Edge, who just spears him right away. And remember when I said Nowinski would regret coming into this match? Well, there's a spot where he thinks he eliminates Edge and Rey Mysterio, but they both climbed the top rope for a double drop kick, which was mistimed, and Edge just ended up landing on Nowinski's face, giving him a severe concussion. Ooh, that looked like a nasty bump. But this would ultimately be the reason why Christopher Nowinski retired from wrestling to study CTE. What a story. The 7th entrant is Chavo Guerrero, who hits a smooth-ass dive to enter the ring. Rey Mysterio goes for a West Coast pop on Christian, but he moves and eliminates Nowinski with a head scissor instead. You might be wondering where Chris Jericho has been this whole time. He was on the outside, but he comes back in and clotheslines Rey out of the ring to eliminate him. We get our 8th entrant in the form of Tajiri, who comes in wrecking shit. Our 9th entrant is Bill DeMott, who's low-key a weirdo. He got released from being a trainer in 2015 due to abusive behaviors over the years, like allegedly making wrestlers take naked jelly donut stink faces. I wish that was made up. Number 10 comes out, and it is the innovator of violence, Tommy Dreamer, who's brought some toys with him. He hits everybody with kendo sticks before Jericho and Christian hit him with a concerto using trash can lids to then toss him out. A quick appearance for Dreamer. Tajiri then tries to put Jericho in a tarantula, but instead gets eliminated. Our 11th entrant is on his way, and it is B Squared. Remember him? Probably not. He was John Cena's tag partner, but he gets eliminated like instantly by Edge, who catches a two-piece and spears Chavo off the apron. He's on fire, but as he's trying to eliminate Christian, Jericho creeps up from behind and actually eliminates both of them. The ring is empty now, and Jericho is all by himself, awaiting number 12, who is none other than Rob Van Dam, who we saw earlier. He gets to work on Jericho. We count down to number 13, and it is Matt Hardy version 1, who strongly dislikes mustard. Number 14 is Eddie Guerrero, who beats up RVD and Matt Hardy before RVD gives him a beautiful monkey flip. It is chaos in the ring. Everyone is hitting all kinds of finishers, but the clock starts counting down to our 15th entrant, and it is Jeff Hardy, officially marking the halfway point. Matt tries to convince him to team up, but Jeff ain't having it, so he beats his ass and almost eliminates him, but Shannon Moore is there to save him with his legs. He then goes for a swanton on Matt, but Shannon Moore is there again, laying on top of him to absorb most of the impact. What a swell guy. It's time for our 16th entrant, and it is 3-minute warnings Rosie, and I think RVD was high during this match because he tries to monkey flip Rosie, but he gets this kick instead. Number 17 is on his way, and it is Test, accompanied by Stacy, and the ring is slowly starting to fill up. Number 18 is John Cena, who freestyles for an entire 90 seconds before getting thrown in by RVD. Number 19 is Charlie Haas, who we saw earlier. There's a moment where Jeff Hardy is on the top rope and looks like he's going for Whisper in the Wind, but RVD pushes him off for a scary looking elimination. It's time for our 20th entrant, 2/3 of the way there now. It's Big Rikishi. He comes in and quite literally super kicks everyone. We get a face-off between the two cousins, Rikishi and Rosie, who end up double teaming Matt Hardy and Shannon Moore, but just when Rikishi is about to stink face them, Rosie turns him inside out with a beautiful clothesline. Number 21 is on his way, and it is Jamal, aka Umaga. He super kicks Rikishi, but he answers back with his own, and Jamal lands in perfect position for Rikishi to throw some ass, which he does. Counting down number 22, it is the Big Red Machine Kane, who eliminates Rosie and hits a double choke slam on Matt Hardy and Shannon Moore. The ring is getting really packed now as we count down number 23, who is the other half of World's Greatest Tag Team, Shelton Benjamin, followed by number 24, Booker T, who gets flames for a Royal Rumble entrance. He cleans house for a little bit before hitting a Royal Rumble spin-a-rooney. And can we just talk about how many surefire Hall of Famers are in the ring right now, and some already in it? Booker T, Matt Hardy, John Cena, Shelton Benjamin, Rob Van Dam, Kane, Chris Jericho, Rikishi, Jamal, Eddie Guerrero, who sadly gets eliminated by Booker T, but you couldn't tell me 2003 didn't have the most stacked roster in WWE history. Our 25th entrant is on his way, and it is A-Train, who comes out looking all nice and hairy. Shortly after that, we see a bloody Shawn Michaels running down the ramp, who is coming to get revenge on Chris Jericho, and while he's focused on Shawn, he gets eliminated by Test, allowing for Michaels to continue his assault until the referees break it up, and this will be your Mania match. I love whenever Mania matches are built off of shit that happens in the Royal Rumble. Number 26 comes out, and it is the YouTube sensation Maven Huffman. The ring is insanely full now, which means someone is going to come clear it, and it's definitely not this man. Number 27 is Goldust, who hits Maven with a mule kick, but he gets eliminated by Charlie Haas via clothesline. Haas would get another elimination when him and Benjamin team up to eliminate Booker T. Number 28 is on his way, and it is a young Dave Bautista looking like a beast, and he eliminates Test, then Rikishi shortly after. We're now at the 29th entrant, one more to go. It is Brock Lesnar, the man who earned his spot earlier on in the show. He comes in and eliminates World's Greatest Tag Team simultaneously, and then F5's Matt Hardy onto them. Number 30 is the returning Undertaker, which everybody already knew. He comes in and eliminates Cena, he's gone. Clothesline of Jamal, he's out. We then get one of my favorite moments from the match where they tease the Maven dropkick elimination again, and Maven thinks he's pulled it off. He's jumping up and down yelling 2 years in a row, baby. But Taker says hell no and chokeslams him, then eliminates him. Kane and RVD team up to eliminate A-Train, but Kane then fools him by acting like they're gonna do a tag team move on Batista. He has him in press position but ends up just tossing him out and on the A-Train. Man, fuck you, Kane. But just like that, we're down to our final four competitors. It's Kane, Batista, Brock Lesnar, and The Undertaker. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is the closest we ever got to Brock versus Batista outside of OVW. Brock hits Batista with a belly-to-belly. Undertaker gives Brock a scary-looking tombstone and then eliminates Batista. Taker then agrees to team up on Lesnar with Kane, but instead double-crosses him and eliminates him. Instant karma for Kane. An angry Batista then comes back into the ring with a steel chair aimed for the dead man, but he gets shut down with a big boot. Taker then grabs the chair and decks Batista with it, but while his guard is down, Lesnar comes up from behind and eliminates Taker to win the 2003 Royal Rumble match. Taker's a little salty, but he takes his loss like a champ, telling Lesnar, hey, you got me, and dapping him up. I give this match 4.5 stars out of 5. It's very hard to fuck up a Royal Rumble. This is always an entertaining match, and especially with this stacked ass 03 roster filled with future and current Hall of Famers, there's a ton of great action and spots, and Royal Rumbles will always get a higher than average rating. My final grade for this show is an A-, simply due to the fact that there were a couple low spots like Dawn Marie versus Torrie Wilson, Triple H versus Scott Steiner, but Benoit versus Angle in the Rumble match make up for all that. Hell, even the opener was good. The worst match of the night was definitely Scott Steiner versus Triple H. I would have said the women's match because it got the lowest rating, but at least that was over in 5 minutes. This shit dragged on for 30. The best match of the night was hands down Benoit versus Kurt Angle, who put on an absolute clinic. In my opinion, the greatest match ever. Suck on that, Edge versus Randy. I really hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Let me know what other pay-per-views you'd want me to review. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel because this video took a very long time to make. That's why it took me a little while to upload it. I know I promised you guys sometime last week, but I'm telling you, this takes a lot of time when working a full-time job and taking care of a child on the side. Probably my biggest project yet, but it was a lot of fun. And if you haven't seen the entire pay-per-view, you should check it out for sure. Anyways, I'm done here, guys. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day or night, and I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.